Well, it's 5 o'clock or 5:01, so I wanted to get started. I think each week that I'm doing this, getting a little bit better. The lighting and the cameras, and trying to keep people quiet behind me. But once again, my name is Robert Ciresi. I'm the CEO of Ciresi Morek. Today is April 29th. I've been working from home for about 2 months now. Missed my team. However, expect to get back here to the office in the next few weeks. Just a little bit about me and why we're doing this video. So when this all took place, I thought it might be a good idea to create videos to help those who might need help. Whether it be coaching, interviewing, resume help, how to secure a new role. But I think it's working. But it's like I said, it's a little bit of stress for me because I'm not good in front of the camera. But I wanted to get this out there. So if you know me, I've been doing this for 22 years. I've placed probably over 1,000 folks. On average, our compensations are, for me, $100,000 to $300,000 a year. I recruit for the automotive, aerospace, building materials, food, oil, and gas. So mostly all your big brand name organizations in the industrial sector. I've got a partner, Mark Morek, Ciresi Morek. He'll be joining us here in the next few weeks. He's a little bit camera shy, so he hasn't joined us as of yet, but he'll be joining soon. Today, we're going to talk about some awesome stuff, some good news, information that I've read, and information that I personally gathered by being on the phone, 8 hours a day. But it appears, and this is what I've read, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Tennessee are going to be opening up soon. Ford, GM, FCA, Volvo are going to be opening up next week. That's great news. I heard Kia in Georgia opened up on Monday. Even Ducati, for those bikers, they opened up in Italy on Monday. Mexico plants are reopening. I also understand that Boeing in South Carolina is going to be opening up as well. So that's the stuff that I've read. And maybe you've read as well, Apple News or CNN or Fox News, wherever. But this is some of the stuff that I hear, and this is kind of stuff that I really want to share. This is why we created these videos. We post everything on our site, our LinkedIn site, our website. We're not bashful. Just over this past few weeks, and this is what I want to share with you, and I will be sharing every week, we got a bunch of new jobs. Just today, we got asked to find a director of human resources in Detroit. Really neat company, part of a Fortune 500 company looking for a director of HR who could be a business partner to a VP of operations. So we'll be posting that soon. We have a search in Wisconsin, one of our customers, once again, I don't know, $6-7 billion company looking for a vice president of manufacturing engineering. For that role, they need someone that's going to implement a manufacturing strategy or footprint for North America. We need maintenance managers everywhere. If you're watching this and you're in maintenance, find us. Go to our webpage, ceresimorek.com. But we need maintenance managers all over the country. I think what people are doing with this downtime is they're reinvesting in their sites, and they're allowing their maintenance managers to fix equipment that might be broken. But if you're a maintenance manager, we've got some openings, paying up to about $150,000 a year. So find us. If you're in operations, we have this week, we got a plant manager in Detroit. We have a search in Southern California. We need a director of operations in California. We need a plant manager in Nashville, Tennessee. Where else? Just today, one of our customers located in Birmingham, they asked us to find a plant manager as well, automotive supplier down there. So, if you're an HR manager, go to our site. We need HR managers across the country, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio as well. Like I said, these aren't just jobs that we're just throwing out there. These are real jobs. We can get you interviews. If you reach out to me, I'll tell you which ones are, we can get action on or traction on, and I'll let you know the ones we can't. But there's a lot of opportunities out there. And hell, we're hiring. I would love to add some people to our team. We have a pretty strong position right now. If you want to join our team, you have questions, call my cell, 440-799-2996. But I would love to identify someone to be an awesome search consultant for Ciresi Morek. A couple things that I wanted to share with everyone that is watching. First and foremost, I don't work for LinkedIn. I advertise for them a lot, but I don't work for them. I pay them a great deal of money. I'm jealous that I didn't create the idea, but they're a wonderful tool. now more than ever, you guys got to utilize it. You have to clean your LinkedIn profile, make it look great. It's not hard, but if you don't do it, you're getting passed up. If you have some downtime, go clean it up, make it look attractive. If you don't know how to make it look attractive, call me. I'll help you out. But you got to do it. You got to polish it up. I also, a couple things I want to share with the audience that's watching is I want to tell a few stories that I think will help you guys out. So recently, within like the past 24 hours, we helped a woman identify a role in an aerospace company. So the courting, I call it courting, the dating had been taking place, for the past few months. And there was an open line of communication with both parties. They wanted to hire her. She wanted to work for them. It was a great fit. But with this COVID-19 thing hit, it got messy. So, and being in aerospace, it was really, really messy. But she had to make a decision. This is the tough part. Not only did she have to figure out which company offered her the greatest opportunity, but maybe what company offered what was a safer route as well. Not to get into too many details, but where she was at now, if she were to stay and be part of a layoff or a RIF or something, she could count on maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks of severance benefits, because that's existed now. If she were to leave that, go to the new organization, well, candidly, last in, first out, right? You hear that all the time. So my customer did a fantastic job. Once the offer was made, talked to her, presented it to her, told her what we're doing in the next 6 months, 9 months, and he needed to do it. And I thought it was the best thing to do. You make somebody feel better about the decision that he or she's making. Happened with a young man that I've known for years. Just this week, he's employed. One of my customers' friend wanted to hire him, and I just said, hey, just maybe evaluate what you're doing, make sure that it's the best option. That job is going to exist 60 or 90 days. Now, you might not hear that from most headhunters, but be patient. Do your research on the company and so forth. Don't jump without knowing what's on the other side. So just a couple points on that, which leads me to, I guess, onboarding. When we talk about onboarding, we have blogs about onboarding. I talk to my customer about onboarding. Onboarding is so important right now. Even though we have massive people unemployed right now, if you're joining an organization right now thinking about it, onboarding is tremendously important. So talking about onboarding, companies who do not appreciate the process or don't do it well will fail. People won't start jobs. People will be no-shows. If you're an employer watching this, pay attention. You need to stay on top of this. If you're a candidate watching this, a couple of things, I want to share with you. As a lot of you know, we conducted a survey last year of about 70,000 professionals and asked them about onboarding. 95% of those surveys said they felt onboarding was important. Think about that. We asked them how their most recent employer did onboarding, though. They said most of them, 95% said it was very important, but our stats indicate that only 35% do it well. That's awful. Our job as headhunters, and we always get tasked to, hey, find us some resumes, create a slate, help us find this individual. But the little pieces that people might miss on onboarding is what costs people from taking jobs. And it blows my mind how, if somebody accepts the job, I would tell my customer, hey, call that person, welcome them aboard, right? Changing jobs is a huge deal. And more often than not, back then, they would say, we'll just have somebody else. I'll have the recruiter or HR contact them. Well, that's stupid. If you're an employer and you've got somebody starting in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, you got to reach out to that person just to make sure, hey, are we good to go? Because that person might get cold feet. And I will tell you, just recently, that happened. We placed a woman. She was employed for 60 or 90 days, and my customer maybe didn't do the best job of relating what's going on with COVID and what could happen and so forth, and they lost her. She went back to her previous employer. So when times are tough, people are going to go back to what they're most comfortable doing. And the other company said, hey, come back to us, we'll take you. And boom, it was done. So, yeah, stinks. So, but once again, every week, my goal is to share some news with you, good, bad, but I want to be talking about our jobs. And we're going to have a lot of jobs. I feel it. Like I said, just today and yesterday, we got 5 or 6 openings. So we post everything on our website. It's on our LinkedIn. Feel free to send me a note, give me a call. I'll do the best to answer any questions that you have. Ciresi Morek, we're ready to go. We're healthy. My individuals, my team is all working from their homes, but we're ready to go. And I want to, I guess, take this time as well. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask. But we had some questions come up recently, and I'm going to share them with you. So one of the questions we got is compensation something that you negotiate, or is it done by the candidate at the offer? How does this work? So is compensation something that you negotiate, or is this done by the candidate at the offer? How does this work? People think, well, for us, Ciresi and Morek, if you're watching and we placed you, we always ask you, what do you want? What do you need? Those are 2 different answers. And when we're dealing with our customers, we're always trying to identify what's a fair number, and we try to put both together. We don't want the employer upset. We don't want the candidate upset. I can assure you, though, the candidates don't believe us. They think at sometimes, you ask, if whatever you tell us you want, we're going to take it to our customer. And we're going to say to our customer, I apologize. We're going to say to our customer, hey, Joe Smith is looking for this. Can you do it? If they say yes, great. If they say no, but we're going to try to keep everybody open line of communication. If you're part of the salary conversation, how does that work? How do you know that you're getting me the best rate? Listen, we do our best to make sure everyone's happy. I have actually lost customers because I thought that they did a terrible job onboarding, offering a candidate something. It's a very tricky conversation to have that I think we're very good at doing. I can't recall the law in California where you're not allowed to talk about compensation, but we actually have customers in California who reach out to us to do this for them. Hey, find out what somebody wants and needs, because we're making offers to candidates and we're not even close. If we would have known this going beforehand, then we wouldn't have gone down this far. But we're skilled at doing it. I've been doing it for a long time. But like I said, I think we do a very good job at managing expectations on both sides. And if someone is, if a candidate's out of whack or customer's out of whack, we do our best to say, hey, you're out of whack, and this is what we're working with. So have you been asked to hand over? I've been asked to hand over my salary. I made $150K per year with the bonus 20%. I hit my bonus in 2019. I like my salary. And what should I expect for the new marketplace? Should I renegotiate my company, my base, or just know what that 2020, I won't hit that 20%? Listen, I have no idea. I have some customers that are making offers that are comparable to what their salary staff is doing. Every situation is different. You really have to, I apologize. You really have to, what's the best way to put it? Know where you feel most comfortable at. But to suggest you need to take a pay cut, who knows? It's a difference for every case. But like I said, if you're open and honest with the individual, I think everything would work out well. I would rather look for a new job with a different contract in place. Your thoughts? I'm not sure what that question means, but I'm going to scratch that one. I am a small business owner. I realize that I need to shut my doors. Not very happy about this. I need to secure my future. I need to find a new job. I worked in plants before about 10 years ago. How do I frame my resume and come back to the marketplace? Can I do that? Yes, you can. It's going to be tricky, though. You've been on your own for 10 years. You've written your own paychecks. You really have to be able to convince whoever you're going to work for that you don't want to do it again. And there's a reason you're a small business owner. There's a reason I'm a small business owner. For me, I didn't like my previous bosses. I thought I could do it better. For you, I don't know that might mean for you. But if you want to go to work for a company, a stable income, you're going to need to be, I don't want to say, just like I said, be open and honest with the individual. And if they're not open and honest with you, then so be it. But just be open and honest with the individual. You talked about onboarding. How do you leave a company that's you talked about onboarding. How do you leave a company that's stuck to the process when you just started 2 weeks ago? What do you do? How do you handle it? How do you reach out to the recruiter that placed you and have them help you handle it? Wow. So you just started a place and it sucks. So you just got married and you're already deciding that you don't want to stay married. I always equate taking a job like dating and so forth, but you just committed. The job's not a good fit. Ooh. It's going to show if you resign, it's going to show up. It's going to show up in your background when people do a check. So I guess once again, and this, I don't know if this is the answer you want to hear, but you maybe want to be open and honest about with your current boss. That's the best way. I'm not going to lie for someone. Candidates and companies ask me to lie sometimes for them. I'm not going to do it, but it was a bad fit. It was a bad relationship. Hey, what was presented is not what happened, and I decided I'd depart. But make sure you have that conversation first, though. Make sure you're talking to the person that hired you, or try to find a solution before you just say I'm done, because that's a tough one. As you mentioned, talked to a lot of manufacturing companies. What about the suppliers? Well, are they gearing up? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my customers, I deal with most suppliers, and they are ramping up, like getting searches right now. How do you stand out when applying for a new role with a market that is about to be flooded with strong candidates? Well, that's first and foremost, you got to, going back to LinkedIn, make sure your LinkedIn looks good. Make sure your Facebook is private. Companies are looking at this kind of stuff. If you send a resume and LinkedIn and your resume don't match up, you're going to get thrown out. If your Facebook has pictures that might be fun for you and your friends, great, but if they're inappropriate, get them out of there. It sucks. I played rugby for 20 years. If you can imagine, I've got great stories, great times, but I'm not posting them out there on Facebook. It's kind of dangerous. But make sure that when you do go to market, your resume is clean, your LinkedIn is clean, your Facebook is clean. Funny story, one of my customers, I'm not going to name her, but she's a director of HR with a large, huge Fortune 500 company. And I Googled her name. And the first thing that showed up was she got arrested for not paying speeding tickets or a speeding fine 10 years ago. So the first picture that showed up in Google Images was her with getting the mugshot taken for not, but so it's that's the first thing that showed up. So if you're looking to hire her someday, and that's the first thing that shows up, Google your own name. It was unbelievable. Do you think companies will be less likely to relocate candidates post-COVID US? Yeah, yes. I think, yes, I think people are going to, the cost of relocation is going to shrink. Budgets for talent acquisition is going to shrink. So yeah, absolutely. How do you make yourself indispensable or hard to replace? Well, that's a question you got to ask your boss. That's a hard question to have. But ask your boss, what can I do better? What is it that I could do that, just ask that, what can I do? What can I get? How do I become a better player for this organization? Once again, it's a hard question to ask, but it's a question you should ask. Think about this. If you're watching right now and you have a candidate, if you're watching right now and someone is on the fence who works for you, but they don't want to leave, wouldn't you appreciate them coming to you to ask you these questions? Hey, Joe Smith, what can I do better? How do I become irreplaceable? What's happening here? Just have those real conversations. It's simple. Recently, I left my position because my new boss and I didn't see eye to eye. What do I tell my interviewer of why I left? Once again, it's open and honest. I mean, there's ways to sugarcoat it, but I do this all day long because people switch jobs mostly because of the environment and they don't like the people they work with. But you got to tell the person interviewing, listen, it was a bad fit. I didn't have a good relationship with some folks over there, but ultimately you got to make sure that you're not just coming. You got to also be humble and say what you could have done better, how you addressed it, because maybe it's you that's hard to work with. So, but know your audience you're talking to, and be careful on how much information you share. One of the things that just today I was talking to someone, about how to interview, and the first question that you always get is, tell me about yourself. Today, this person talked for 20 minutes. I could only give that person. So the last 10 minutes, I said, listen, I got to cut you off because there was questions I needed to get. But he taught, for tell me about yourself lasted 20 minutes. He never once asked me if he was talking too much. He never checked close, but check closing is to make sure I'm paying attention. Candidly, I lost interest in the first 5 minutes. Sounds terrible, but it's the truth. But the tell me about yourself is make sure you ask the audience, well, how much do you want to know? And I always say, give me the Cliff Notes version. When asked about money, how do I answer that? How much should I tell them how much I want to make? So I just talked to a woman yesterday about this, and she'd been in the same company for 20 years, and she didn't know how to answer this question. And then her outplacement company gave her this response saying, deflect. Which I thought was kind of strange. You don't want to, our customers always ask, how much does somebody want before they've even gone on the interview? I tell my customers, I have no idea. The person doesn't know much about the job. So they got to evaluate the job, the distance, the benefits and so forth. But you have no idea what somebody wants until at the end. But when asked that question, how much money, if somebody asks you how much have you made in the past, you got to share that information, right? I share when we interview someone, we say, what's your history? What do you currently make? What's your bonus potential? So forth. We share that with our customer. But when someone come out and say, hey, how much money you make? Your job is to say, listen, I'm more interested in the opportunity itself. I'm sure if it's the right fit for both parties, you can there'll be a fair and equitable offer. So, but if someone come out and say, hey, how much do you need to make? Well, hey, this is what I've made in the past, and I'm looking to do this. So once again, open and honest communication. But if the person's just going to harp on it, then get the hell out, because that person's just trying to get a control of the situation. And if they keep asking how much you need, how much do you need, hell, they're probably looking for a discount. You don't work for those guys anyways. So I want to check my phone to make sure I don't have any questions. So Mary Brown, is it reasonable to ask a new employer for a policy exemption regarding short-term disability, typically 5 days, when given the risk of quarantine due to COVID-19? Policy exception. Wow, so that's more of a reasonable. I don't see why not. This is bizarre times right now. This is I have customers that if a candidate is this is really tricky, but these are large companies. For example, my shirt Magna, they're one of my customers, but I have customers that if somebody even says they came in contact and they're not feeling well, they don't even want to come into the facility. So is it reasonable? I think so. I don't know the laws on short-term versus long-term disability. I really don't. That's a better question for your HR department. But, Mary, I got to believe if it's a question you should be able to ask your HR manager, and they should have an answer for that. I hope that answered the question, but I guess reasonable in this day and age, man, it's who knows? It's just so tricky. Hell, I have a customer here locally, huge company. And I talked to the director of HR yesterday, and he's got to rename or he has to be, I can't use his name, but the company's let's just say a large company, Fortune 500. So they can't find enough people. They're making products kind of in the tote industry for medical supplies and so forth. And they're paying, I think, 12, 13 bucks an hour, which is roughly the same amount as unemployment. And the temp agencies get their cut on that as well. They're providing masks to all their employees. They're doing temperature readings. So it's kind of cool to see these companies doing these kind of things. They're going above and beyond. But the tough part is I don't know if you guys follow me on LinkedIn. Recently, a woman took the loan for a small business loan. All her employers got mad at her because the purpose of the small business loan is to keep your employees reasonably paid, right? Well, I think this was a hair salon up in the West Coast. I think it was some on my LinkedIn feed. But her employees got mad. Like, why would you do that? Why didn't you just let us collect unemployment? Which I thought was, wow, really crappy. But reasonable, I don't know. It's I would absolutely ask your HR manager that question and see. But if you're sick and if you can't be at work, you can't be at work. So, well, Mayor, hopefully I answered that question. Can I answer anybody else's questions? We have a few minutes. Okay. So we're gonna be back next week. Next week, 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. Call me, email me with any questions you may have. I am excited about the jobs we're working on. I'm excited about the new jobs we have. But like I said, I think things are picking up. So I want to thank you for joining us. Oh, sorry. What has been your best moment during this time? Well, it's obviously not my haircut. That looks terrible. Weather stinks. On a personal note, hanging out with my kids. I'm blessed to have a wife who is a stay-at-home mother, and she's doing a lot of the details. Not only being a mother 24/7, but also doing the schoolwork. She's grinding a lot more than me. But hell, seeing my kids, take advantage of it. So that would be and it's not work related. Work. I'm cleaning my desk. I'm cleaning my garage. I'm cleaning my inbox. I'm getting ready I'm just getting ready to. Hell, I'm even getting in shape. I'm running every day, getting ready to launch on May. Whatever, May or June, whatever it might be. But I think getting to know my kids has been absolutely the best moment of these past 2 months. So, anybody else, guys? Okay. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. I will see you next week, and all my best. Take care. Bye-bye.